Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be providing a long-term market analysis update for Zilliqa. I want to cover this very key level of support that's currently being retested over the last few weeks. I'm going to talk about some bullish divergence I'm noticing here on the RSI, some weekly moving averages, as well as the Zilliqa Bitcoin ratio. So if you guys enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, by the way, I will leave a link to my Twitter page in the description below. I'm fairly active over there as well if you guys want to go ahead and check that out. So first, I do want to talk about this very strong level of support for Zilliqa ranging from 2.8 all the way up to 3.1 cents. That is this zone marked out in green. And if I just zoom out here all the way, you can see this has historically been a huge level for Zilliqa going all the way back to the previous market cycle. This was strong support in 2018. We bounced off this level numerous times, held it as support throughout the end of 2018, and then later on, Zilliqa did get that breakdown, and then it actually flipped this zone right into resistance, two rejections right here in 2019, and then from there we started to continue that bear market decline and make some lower lows. And then you can see right here in 2020 we had two more retests, both forming resistance, rejecting off this level, and then eventually when Zilliqa was able to break out above that level and it had that retest, that's what really led it to this mania-like parabolic move and formed a new all-time high. So we are once again retesting that level. You can see we came back down to this level in June, and over the last few weeks we've been consolidating above this. So I talked about this level in the last video, and basically it's much of the same where we really need to see Zilliqa continue to hold this as support. So I like how we haven't broken down yet. Some of the altcoins have already started to make some lower lows, so it's a little bit positive to see how Zilliqa hasn't done that as of yet. I would look out to the resistance ahead of us at these two weekly moving averages here. The red one is Z20 SMA, and then the green one is Z21 EMA. Throughout this bear market, it has been a pretty key level. We did have a pretty huge fake out above this right here in March and April, but notice how when we came back down to retest them, Zilliqa was unable to flip it into support, and this was just a big deviation. But you can see we rejected off this level right here in January. We rejected right here in November, as well as August. So this has been a pretty key level. Today, these moving averages range from 3.6 to 3.8 cents. So that is the level that the bulls do need to reclaim. And if we can flip that into support, that'd be a very bullish sign. And you can see if I go back here to 2020, notice how when we broke above them, Zilliqa had this pretty impressive move right up into the resistance. It came back down and then found support off these moving averages. And then from there, it started to trend back up higher, making higher highs. So that was an area of support throughout that bull market. And you can see how, throughout the last bear market, it was resistance as well. We had these rejections off these moving averages. Eventually, when it was no longer resistance, we started to transition into this new uptrend. So I'm going to be watching out for those levels into the next few months. Again, reclaiming this would be a very bullish sign, and they do range from 3.6 to 3.8 cents. So now I want to talk about this RSI divergence, where we had this local low on the RSI back here in February, around 35 on the RSI, and you can see that corresponded to a closing price on the weekly chart of around 3.7 cents. So ever since then, the closing prices have been in this steady decline. Meanwhile, the RSI has not made lower lows. In fact, it's sort of in this uptrend pattern where you do get that divergence with the RSI rising and the closing price declining. So this is a great indicator of the momentum starting to slow down, and as it's slowing down, we're coming right up into this longer term support. So definitely going to be important to watch out for into the next few months if we can continue to hold this zone and see how that RSI divergence starts to play out. So now I want to talk about the Zilliqa Bitcoin ratio, and with this I'm going to look at this first moving average. This is the daily EMA 34, and I want to focus on how this has been pretty strong resistance for the past few months. Going back here, you can see that it was resistance holding all of these daily candle closes under this level around 183 satoshis. We rejected, continued lower, and then another retest a few days later, coming up to this level, rejecting. And that pattern has been consistently playing out. This is the level that I do want to see Zilliqa on the Bitcoin ratio start to break above, and if we can do that and really start to reverse this trend, we might have some higher highs ahead of us, which would bring a lot of relative strength into this pair. Now I do want to make the point that this is just a daily chart, and if we zoom out here, the longer term trend to me is really unclear. So while we can look at some of these shorter term daily levels, we really can't look at a longer term trend because to me, again, it is very unclear. We've basically just gone from this very massive range over the last few years, where Zilliqa on the Bitcoin ratio has had these extreme moves both to the upside and to the downside. This one was a negative 78% decline, followed by another 450% rally. These have been pretty significant, but there's really no trend. There's no longer term direction that we can look to. And I just want to contrast this to Ethereum, which has a great trend behind it. You can see it clearly if I zoom out here all the way. Ever since 2020, Ethereum has been in this outperformance with respect to Bitcoin, and it also had a trending environment from 2017 to that bottom. You can see it had a very consistent structure of lower highs and lower lows, where the market had a clear direction for Ethereum with respect to Bitcoin. It was either underperforming for a significant period of time or outperforming for a significant period of time. But going back here to Zilliqa, again, we're still at the same price that we were back here in 2020. There's no concrete trending environment. So I would recognize that even though some of these moves can be pretty significant, they're for the most part unsustainable. And until we can get a consistent and steady trend behind Zilliqa on the Bitcoin ratio, I really wouldn't expect longer term outperformance or longer term underperformance. I hope you guys did enjoy the content and the analysis. By the way, make sure to check out this channel's partners over at ftx.us. You can sign up to their exchange in the link in the description below, or with my referral code SNOWYCrypto and get a 5% discount on exchange fees. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.